Good morning. I'm doing a video now about a Funxwe wireless. It's Funxwe wireless Wi-Fi security PTZ camera, 1080p, blah blah blah. Model name or numbers F as in Frank, S as in Sam 30. This is actually made by IPCAM. Yes, it's the name of a company. It's not a type of camera. IPCAM makes these and then they sell them to other people who give them made-up names, and then they get sold on Amazon and eBay and whatnot. This thing was $37 shipped. It is 1080p. It is 2 megapixels, and you read the stats. 4 times digital zoom, which digital zoom is BS. Rotates horizontally 350 degrees, vertically 110. Supports ONVIF and RTSP, and I'll get the information on how to access the RTSP on this because it's not in any of the manuals or information about the camera. I think it might be online, but if you don't know where the company's name is, you'll never find it. This is a small, cheap camera, and I do mean cheap. It's Wi-Fi only. There is no connection on the back for network connection. It has a USB cable, but I believe that is just power. I haven't tried to plug it into a computer. It supports 128 gigs of micro SD, no card included. The app you use it with on your phone is Cam Hi Pro, or Cam Hi if you're one of these weirdos who has an iPhone. Since it has no network connection on it and it's only Wi-Fi, the way you set it up is you have to install the app on the phone, and then you connect to the camera. There's a QR code on the side. You scan that in the app and it will then connect to it through some kind of point-to-point connection. Once you connect to that, then you can set up the password and connect it to your network, and once it's connected to your network, then you can get to it through a web page. And contrary to what it says on the box, it says user admin, password admin. That's not the actual password. The password is in the instructions, and it's 01234567. Once you when you go and connect into it with the phone app, it makes you change the password, and it requires upper and lowercase and at least one number. We'll go over the video quality and all the settings in the web page at the end of this video. I will not be covering the app. It has illuminators. They are not invisible, they're quite bright. It has an IR cut filter. I have it set up in my shed, and with the lights out, these lights come on. It completely lights up the inside of the shed, and you can see everything. You can control the quality of the video, but if you don't want to be using this and watching the video on the same wireless network. I tried that in my shed. I have a computer in here, it's wireless. This is wireless. They're on the same network, and it was just dog slow. So, video quality is not bad. It's 1080p. It has a built-in microphone. There is a long delay, about a second, from when you hear something, or from when the mic picks up something to when you actually hear it. Basically, that's about it. Next, we'll just go over all the settings in the web page. Okay, so this is the web page after you logged in. The setup software, I've downloaded it, but I have not installed it. I don't know exactly what it does. It doesn't seem to be needed in order to use Firefox and Chrome. That might provide more functionality. I'm not sure. I'm probably going to install it later, but I'm not going to worry about it. So you click on PC View, and you get a picture from the camera. The controls are pretty simple: up, down, left, right, zoom in, zoom out, focus, plus and minus. The left and right, up and down, all that does is it causes the camera to suddenly just go back and forth. That's it. Rate is the speed. I'm assuming 1 is the fastest, but it doesn't really say. Presetting. By the way, this is all in Chinglish, so if you want to save a preset, you type in a number and you click Submit. And when you want to go to that preset, you type in a number and you click Call. And that's about it for this screen. There's no other settings or no other controls. It does not seem to have the ability to do playback in the web page. In the settings, first you go to media and you can set the video format. This is actually the speed. Generally you want to set it to whatever the line frequency is in your country. I would recommend leaving it on. Oh, actually, I'm going to leave it. I'm going to change it to H.264 main profile. That might be why I had trouble getting the video converted. Unfortunately, that setting caused it to have to reboot, and so we'll have to just sit here. I'll cut to when it comes back. When the computer or when the camera reboots, it goes through this thing where it goes through all its motions, and then it will go to the first preset. So back to the settings. Bitrate, it comes default at 800. I had it set to 2000, and then I had to dial it back to 1000 because it was using up a lot of the bandwidth on the Wi-Fi. I changed it to 30 frames per second. Putting it at less will allow more throughput. I left this alone, the keyframe. Basically, I left all the rest of it alone. And the on-screen display, I just changed this stuff to how I wanted it and gave the camera a name. This controls your image. You can flip the video up top to bottom, left to right, can control all the colors and saturation, whatever. I've tried this in illuminance and frame rate and really couldn't tell a difference in the picture. If you change this to normal, hopefully it doesn't reboot. It will, if it's too dark, it will switch it to a black and white mode. And if you do intelligent, it does the exact same thing. But I'm just going to leave it at full color since it seems to leave the lights on all the time. IR cut. This doesn't really kind of make much sense. The late value, the greater the switching time. I'm assuming that means the higher the number, the longer it waits before it switches. But I don't know for certain. I've tried it messing with it. I've changed it to 500 and couldn't tell a difference in anything. Audio type, you cannot change this. It's stuck at G711, whatever that is. If you change any of these audio settings, you can't, and you hit apply, it will reboot. And it says input type mic or line in. There is no line in, at least it's not, there's nothing external. I changed the input volume. I'm going to change that a little bit more. And the output volume, you can, if you have a mic on your computer, you can talk through the thing. I haven't tried that. Network, you can change how you get the IP, the DNS, the port number for HTTP, RTSP, and I believe what this does is RTSP permission check. I've turned it off. I don't know if that doesn't require a username and password. I couldn't get it to connect after I did that, but so I don't really know. So I left it on. Alarm. This thing can recognize if a person is in the frame. It's supposed to put a frame around them, or if a person's in the picture and it's supposed to put a frame around them. I don't know if it actually does that. I haven't had anyone out there where I could see what it was doing. And not really sure what these triggers mean. I'm not really going to use them. Schedule, I believe this is where you can have it, you can set to where the thing is on. And it's right now, I believe it's on all the time. If you click on a square, it goes away. I just left it alone. User, this is where you can add different users. Auto snap, I believe it takes a picture and then uploads it, either saves a picture on the SD card or sends it to an FTP server. I don't know if it does it continuously or if there's an alarm. There's no information on exactly how this works. It's not something I need, so I'm not going to mess with it. Timer record. Also, I believe this is if there's any movement. If it catches something happening, it will record. Email, you can set this up to send an email. I haven't tried it. It may not work with some super modern current POP servers that require authentication. But like I said, it's not something I need right now. FTP, obviously you just put all the information in to send for an FTP server. Cruise lapse, I don't know what that means. I haven't messed with it. PTZ speed is fast. Centered while self-checking is off. I don't know what it means if it was on. Close the alarm PTZ movement. Don't know. Indicator display mode been lighted, been extinguished. I have no idea. I turned off Smart Track because when I had it on, it would just kind of randomly move for no apparent reason. So I don't know if it thought it detected motion and was trying to zero in on it. Either way, I turned it off. I just want to, it's not like it's got a big area it needs to cover or it's high traffic. You can set it to restart. I think if I were to do that, I would want it Sunday at, we'll call it midnight. You can you can have your stuff saved on a cloud. I don't trust any kind of clouds out of China, and I don't need cloud storage. You can set it up to synchronize with a time service to get accurate time. And this is where the screen where you can reboot it, reset it to factory default, save your settings, or you can even upgrade with firmware, which is funny because unless you know where their website is, you can't get the firmware. Although the app supposedly will automatically update the device's firmware, which I don't really like that idea. And this is just all the information about this particular camera. Oh, one thing it does do is allows you to browse the SD card, and you can download video from it. It has the extension 265, although it might change it might change it to 264 since I changed it to 264. I could not directly view the video. I had to convert it to I had to use Handbrake to convert it. Once I did that, it seemed to be fine. You can format the SD card and you can unplug the SD card, which I forgot to show that the SD card slot is on the top of the camera. There's a little rubber tab that you open that up and you can put the SD card in. There's also a reset button in there. And then the system log just shows information about who logged in or whatever. Anyways, that's it. Thanks for watching.